Oh, hey, Robbie.
Hey, Gage, what's happening?
Oh, just taking a short moment for a break in the middle of a long day of meetings. But it's a little rainy out here today, so I was feeling like some comfort food. So I busted out the old trusty Annie's mac and cheese to
What
satisfy that rainy day food kind of feeling.
does the hoppiness start here?
Nice, yes. I saw that on my package, but it was a little confusing because I'm also in the love a good craft beer. So I was thinking like, oh, did they put hops in this for something? And I was like, wait a minute, they just mean the bunny. Okay,
That's awesome. Yeah,
they do.
it's funny. Growing up, I never had packaged macaroni and cheese. My mom would always make it. Whoa, okay, yeah, that's next level, man. I was gonna put some mushrooms in and
Yeah,
all those next pieces, but
yeah. I've got
yeah.
some. Let's see, sundry or sorry, Mama's little peppers and organic green peas in here. So
Oh wow, look at you. You're a rock
it adds
star.
a nice little kind of citrusy or vinegary kick with the peppers, and
I
then
mean, maybe you should have paired it with an
some greens
IPA.
in there.
I don't know. You
No,
know,
I should have. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But
Hmm.
yeah, I never had boxed macaroni and cheese growing up. My mom always made it from scratch, and
Nice.
yeah, and then I never. I don't know. Maybe I tried craft dinner once, and yeah, I just didn't really like it. So I've always kind of shied away. And as you know, I do love to cook. I remember I was doing vegan in a VW, and it's on kind of our promo tape that we put out to the networks and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's this kind of blooper of me, self-recording myself in the van. I was up in the mountains of Colorado somewhere, and I was making like the comfort food. And as a vegan, it's nutritional yeast, right? Is your cheese substitute. So I was like, okay, here's the pasta, and put in the nutritional yeast in, and then the hot chilies, and the hot chili lid just fell off. I'm like, oh, I guess it's spicy night at vegan and a VW. Oh well.
Nice. All of a sudden, you started prototyping that online show called Hot Ones, I think it's called, where they interview celebrities while they're eating just varying levels of crazy
uh
hot sauce on chicken
that's one of my
wings.
favorite shows, Hot Ones. Oh man, we should maybe do that with one of our products. Maybe actually, I know we have a list of products that we're going to maybe not cats. We won't deal with cats. What are the
I've
school build
attracted the
units?
cat onto the desk because of the mac and cheese. She's like, "What? Did you say cheese? I want some."
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't. I think in my household, my mom was always single mom, busy working multiple jobs, so she didn't have time to cook for us all the time. But would just keep this house stocked with tons of stuff, and I think we'd have the occasional box of mac and cheese or something like there. But I was never really drawn to the traditional mac and cheese, but I do like the shells kind of version of mac and cheese,
Mhm.
and I think the last time I had more of a conventional mac and cheese, it might have been a craft or something, but I remember they would at one point elevated it so that it would come with like a liquid pack of cheese sauce in it instead of the powder stuff. And I always thought that was just a million miles better. So I can definitely imagine the homemade mac and cheese was made the box stuff pale in comparison. And I've attempted a couple homemade mac and cheeses since. I haven't quite nailed my recipe yet, but most recently I tried one with some Dungeness crab and bacon. So not vegan and a VW friendly in any way, but it was. Oh, and I used smoked Gouda for the cheese too. That was
Oh
pretty good.
yeah. See, that's where I think these things can go like next level. And maybe it's a gourmet mac and cheese. But as I say this, I am enjoying this mac and cheese. I had a quick little break. So I hopped on my bike this morning and rode to the local grocer and grabbed some of the Annies. Yeah. So, you can see the French here, real cheese, which I love that they have to say that, because what it's implying to the more conventional counterparts is that it isn't, that they don't use cheese. And I remember there was a skit.
Yeah.
There was a Canadian kind of show called Kids in the Hall, which was produced by Lorne Michaels, the same person who produced Saturday Night Live. And there's these two kind of buskers, right? And they had this song. Anyway, they ended up winning a lifetime supply of Kraft dinner. And then with it came a lifetime supply of ketchup. And with it came a lifetime supply of tapeworm food.
Nice.
So
That's hilarious.
yeah. Hey, the other thing that I really like about this is just the simple directions. Like and maybe that's the way it is with all these things these days, but simple directions.
Like how different the backs of our boxes are too.
Oh yeah, look at yours. Yours is full of yumminess, organic, and happy earth. Mine just is a little mask, which
is that like a little game for kids or something?
Yeah, it's talking with the animals. Hi, I like this. Oh, really? I like this. Yeah, maybe we should put our animal personas on here.
Yeah, we could do the whole show with puppets.
With puppets. But I know Annie's caught some slack. What was it in 2017, 2016 when they sold to General Mills?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But kind of in that transition, I think they did a really good job. And I think General Mills, I know she's not with the company anymore. She's out private consulting, but Shauna Sadowski was running that triple bottom line operating group of General Mills. And I was working on a video series similar to what you and I are doing, but working on it with Lisa Spichka from the Sustainable Food Trade Alliance, SFTA. And we had a series of interviews with folks called Shapeshifting in the Natural Products Industry. And Shauna was one of them. It was just fantastic. And, and definitely there's a relationship there between Annie's and Sustainable Food Trade Association. And, their whole sustainability reporting is all kind of based on the metrics and the frameworks that Sustainable Food Trade has put out. But what I appreciated is, even after acquisition, they kept in close relationship with the SFTA. And
oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah, I think everyone's always afraid when companies get purchased because they're worried that their ideals will get watered down or whatever else, of course. What I'm not sure of is whether or not that happened with Annie's, by which I mean, I was poking around on their website recently, like you're just pulling up, and I feel like I've always more or less experienced that some of Annie's stuff is organic, some of it's not, some of it's whole grain, some of it's not. And there's always a bit of a kind of like they're more firmly natural than like trying to plant a flag in the ground for organic. So that feels like it didn't necessarily backslide, but I could be wrong. Maybe they were all organic before they made the switch. But I've noticed when I was poking around on just the mac and cheese SKUs that there's a handful of them that are just made with organic pasta or different things like that, where they're maybe trying to hit a different price point or something like that, or maybe supply chain issues, who knows.
Yeah, I think it is price point. This one, it was $2 a box. For the organic, and pasta is easy to get organic. I think it's more the dairy side of it is to get organic. But it does say non-GMO. So that's good. So no bovine growth hormone. And they did have a grass-fed version of this with grass-fed cheese. And it was
I
twice.
saw that on the website. I haven't seen that in the store before, but I saw that on the website and I got excited about that.
Well, that's why you have to come up to Canada.
Yeah. The version I have is actually from Costco, where you can get it in big 12 packs, and I've got 3 different varieties, and so you don't get really any choice of what's in there. But I appreciate that at least they're all 3 varieties are organic. I'm always trying to find that kind of holy grail of I want it to be organic. I would love it for it to be whole grain, and then if it's grass fed or some other great thing like that, that would be amazing. But it seems almost impossible to find like the right combination of all those. But looks like 2 out of 3 on this one. The grass fed.
Yeah. Well, this is whole grain. It's organic and grass fed. There you go.
Oh, 3 out of 3. Nice.
3 out of 3. So what's your address, Gage? I'll
That's
send you a case.
Yeah. So that's the one I need to seek out. They just probably don't sell it at Costco.
Yeah.
But that's always so frustrating with brands. Like I get it. They have a mix of products and different people want different products, but it seems that I can never find the one I want because it's some obscure thing maybe you can only buy online.
Well, actually, it's not. I just typed in my postal code, and maybe I shouldn't give that away. But anyway, yeah, the store right beside me, like about a 5-minute walk, has it. So I need to update
I'll have
that.
to look for it.
Yeah. Hey, so one of the things that I love to look at as you know is like imagining all those impacts and looking at kind of origin story. So if we look at Annie's here, so our mission, we're on a mission. Great. Yeah.
Wow, it looks like she was really young when she started the company. I was talking about the picture above, but
yeah, the picture above. Yeah.
I was 5 years old and staring over a field.
And I said, we're on a mission to cultivate a healthier, happier world by spreading goodness through nourishing, honest foods and conduct that is considered and forever kind. Considerate, sorry, and forever kind to the planet. I like that, And then I like that we are a triple bottom line business. I know that that wording was some of the original wording in the whole kind of space of impact. But planet, people, profit, well, I can't click on those. But wow, look at this. They've been doing this for the last 10 years. They've been connecting to these or actually reporting on this, their sustainability report. So let's see.
They've always done a pretty good job with their reports. In fact, I've gotten, when I'm working with clients on reports, I've often gotten Annie's reports that they send over for inspiration to be like, we want to be fun like this, or we want to be visual like this. So they've always done a pretty good job with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our one of our key dairy ingredient partners is Organic Valley, keeping millions of pounds of agrochemicals from being applied to the land. This is really cool, right? Like it tells that story and you get to choose. So I think this is their original one in 2000 and, this is their 2012, right? So John, I can't remember John's last name. He was it might be on here.
Foraker?
Yeah, Foraker. Yeah, so he was running the show.
When did he join the company? Because he wasn't the founder, right?
No, he wasn't the founder, but I think he's been there for a while. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a fiscal year where our company has made plans to take it public. Oh, that's interesting. So I didn't know this actually.
So I guess they didn't do that, right? Because they ended up selling to GM instead.
Well, General Mills, not General Motors. We have a General Mill. We have a General Motor.
Yeah, we're not a specific mill. We just like to keep things general,
Well, it's generally good. Yeah, but no, it said that they actually have the bunny symbol on the New York Stock Exchange. What do you think?
So they did that first and then sold to General Mills afterwards, maybe?
Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So they still are a publicly traded company. So this is interesting. I didn't know this about them. Do you know that they offer 145 products?
No, like that's one thing that I've always known about Andy's is that they're have a lot of different products. I think I've only ever bought and maybe two of their products, the mac and cheese and then the cheddar bunnies, like the little cracker things. I don't know if I've ever even seen any of the other products, so I don't know what stores they're selling them at, but I'm guessing not at the stores I shop at.
Yeah, I think I've had their honey bunnies. I think that's theirs. but they do dressings. I think I've seen their dressings at trade shows, but yeah, I didn't know that
Yeah,
they had this.
That mustard looks somewhat familiar. Maybe I've seen that.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. So
But
let's
I
go
feel
back.
like they've been held up as one of those examples of kind of natural organic brands that were able to conquer multiple categories that are completely unrelated. Because it's kind of an obvious Annie's and the cute little bunny and all that kind of playfulness is obvious for the mac and cheese market, which is mostly targeted towards exactly that demographic you just pulled up right there of like busy parents needing to make a quick meal for picky kids who who just want something like cheesy and squishy, right? But but then like cinnamon rolls, cereal, brownie mix, mustard, like some of it makes sense. Some of it started to like jump into like really weird places where I wouldn't expect Annie's to show up. And I think that's part of where my cognitive dissonance is on some of those things like salad dressing. Like it's hard for me to picture a playful, fun, kid-friendly brand making healthy adult salad dressings. Like I would expect them to make maybe ranch at most, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rest is a little confusing.
So and then the condiments, right? Have some Dijon mustard there, my little child. Let me go for some bunnies. Anyway, like I think the brand, other than the dressings and condiments, the brand seems to have a fair amount of continuity there. But regenerative agriculture.
And to be fair, it does look like when they jump in those other categories, they remove the bunny and kind of make the brand a little more sophisticated. So. All right, so regenerative agriculture. So yeah, I think that's what my box was hinting at is the goodness starts with the soil, and they start kind of that conversation around organic ingredients that's delicious and earth happy too. They don't specifically say regenerative agriculture on the box, but I feel like that's what they're starting to hint at with starts in the soil. Obviously that's an organic thing too, but more specifically lately it's all about regenerative agriculture.
Yeah, and I know Shauna, her new consulting group focuses on regenerative ag solutions and etc. But so I showed the 2012, just kind of where they are. A whole lot of good. Organic means to us, non-GMO, just label it. So some really good, even if it's just baselining, some really good work. But if we jump up to 2019, they've really got a lot more sophisticated in the reporting and probably been able to adopt a lot more of the kind of acumen from General Mills. Like just General Mills is a machine, but triple bottom line operating unit. And it's kind of they haven't shifted too much. Our mission is to care for the planet as people through food, through the food we make and the land we impact. Our vision is for General Mills to become the company most trusted to care for the planet and its people. So, and I think one of the things that I appreciate is that, you mentioned this a little bit, Gage, that typically when this happens, the larger kind of company that's acquiring these smaller brands, there tends to be like a culture creep, right? But it seems like for Annie's, and there's a whole group of them. It was Annie's, Epic. Maybe I need to look at General Mills here. But oh yeah, there it is. Annie's, Epic, Cascadian, Larabar. I forgot Larabar. Immaculate Baking, Liberté, and Muir Glen are all brands that are part of this triple bottom line business unit. And I remember in talking with Shauna and doing some of those interviews, it was all around this idea of progress over perfection. And I really appreciate that they and Epic. I don't know if you know Rob from the founder of Epic, but Epic, they kind of, and you're familiar with Epic food bars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of, but they really pioneered some of that regenerative agriculture side of things. And they use the animal metaphor of going further together. And they talk about the buffalo. And I remember this, Shauna was talking about this, and I heard Rob speak at Escabona a couple times. But just this idea that when a storm is rising on or storms coming on the horizon, the buffalo all start to, come together and group, and then they charge the storm, and they are able to blast through it. But most other animals, they kind of try to find shelter, right? Under the trees, under this, and they just weather the storm. And who knows how long that lasts. But the buffalo kind of come together as a group and say, we're going to go through and do this. And I kind of see that.
Like penguins.
Kind of.
Penguins, they they live in those cold temperatures. In order to survive some of those winters while they're sitting on their eggs, they have to all huddle together to get through it together.
Mm-hmm. So penguins would be, kind of a hybrid between the two analogies I'm using there, because they don't try to get through the winter into the summer by charging it. They actually come together in solidarity and community, right?
Yeah.
But with this group, I think what they're doing.
Oh, you're saying they are the buffaloes charging into the General Mills storm.
That's what I'm saying.
Nice. Okay.
And if we look at General Mills, this is their first sustainability report, where they call it global responsibility.
They just launched their first one?
From what I could tell, yeah.
Okay.
But, on Planet, they talk about sustainable sourcing, water stewardship, regenerative agriculture, responsible, sustainable packaging. A note to the shareholders from CEO. So this is pretty standard, but when we look at it, they're like, okay, carbon footprint fiscal. So, here's kind of that percentage spend, giving, gender and diversity, where their sales are coming from.
It's interesting that they had consuming on that footprint. I wonder what I'd love to see what they include in that. Is that like a consumer's part of their footprint, or is that them consuming some things? I'd love to see more of that. That one's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can find that in here. So some of the highlights, and they follow the same kind of 4 pillars, right? Food, planet, people, community. The materiality, I think they've done a really good job of this. Maybe took some lessons from Maple Leaf, but it is GRI. Materiality assessment. I haven't clicked on that. But yeah, like here we go. So consuming. Yeah, let's see if we can find how they're defining consuming. Some of the oversights, the stakeholders. So they've done a really good job at communicating some of the stuff, tying it to the SDGs. Okay, so food, transparency. Let me just.
See, up top left, there's consuming 17% of total value chain emissions, and they define it as enjoying food, shopping, preparing, and eating and disposing. So it's probably like, how much water does it take to prepare our mac and cheese, and how much energy does it take to run the stove and stuff. That's really interesting. I don't know if I've seen that many companies dive into anything after something leaves their hands, other than maybe whether or not their package is recyclable or something like that.
Yeah, they usually measure farm to shelf. They don't look at that extended consumer. Yeah, so that's great that they do that, and they talk about end of life, the breakdown of that, consumers' trips to the stores, home cooking, and home storage. So that's a really, that's a really comprehensive cover of what they do. Yeah, I actually really like this, Gage. And I know some small, well, there is a like being up in arms when General Mills bought out Annie's, because Annie's was that favorite brand. Yeah. But I'm not sure if some of these smaller retailers that were up in arms knew that they were a publicly traded company prior to being acquired by General Mills. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually, it was talking to some of the folks at the company that I really appreciated how authentic they were to the brand itself. So General Mills was Annie's was able to keep its authentic voice in the General Mills umbrella. And from there, they were able to actually be that intrapreneur brand, or that Buffalo group of brands where they're starting to, make change from the inside out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I do hear of that all the time, like Stonyfield and Honest Tea and all these companies that got acquired in some of the earlier days were always, when they're people were criticizing them for selling to the man, so to speak, and joining the kind of corporate culture they're fighting against. They all kind of argued that, well, we're going to just make change from the inside. And I think a lot of people are like, well, we'll see. Like you say that now, it's easy to say, it's harder to do. But to your point, it looks like maybe it's starting to come true, right? Maybe it takes 5 or 10 years or something like that until General Mills publishes this level of sustainability content. Maybe they've been doing it for a while and we just haven't found it yet, but it can take time, but it seems like maybe it is working.
Yeah, and they've really done, like I said, they've really done a great job of sharing where things are coming from, and a very, like, I trust what's being said here. Like, this is a lot. It would be a lot to make up. There's some regenerative egg. So yeah, I wonder, if we go back to company, let's look at brands. Let's just go to brands. Let's see where they all are here. So Cheerios, Haagen-Dazs, Yoplait. So they have some, they have cereals or they have products in conventional and products in natural organic that possibly could be competing with each other. Oh, I didn't know Betty Crocker was owned by General Mills. Yeah, very, very interesting.
Very Nature's Valley. Yeah, they've got. I wonder how many brands do they mention how many? Because it seems like they could have. Oh,
it's more than 100 brands.
That's I was gonna say. It seems like they might have over 100. So there you go. I was right. But yeah, it's like too many to even look at right now. So chances are, if there's a brand you buy a lot on the shelf, like 30% chance or something that it's owned by General Mills.
Well, I kind of laughed.
I just made that up.
I laughed when I was thinking about this. I'm like, oh, well, does General Mills own Kraft Dinner? Not realizing that Kraft is its own parent company.
Wow, throwing some shade on Kraft there.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, this I feel good.
One thing I'm curious about, I don't know if you saw it on the website when you were clicking around on Annie's website, is what happened to Annie? Like, I know John Forker came in, and then I feel like by the time I was paying real close attention to Annie's, John was the figurehead, more or less. Like, I don't know if I've ever even, besides that picture on the website, seen a picture of Annie or heard any of her story. Like, did she start the company and 2 years later peace out, or was she involved the whole time, just not feeling comfortable being the figurehead, or did I just miss that?
Well, let's have a look. Annie Withby. So in 2008, they partnered with Organic Valley. I didn't know that. Oh, it was 2014 they joined General Mills. Yeah. So she probably it doesn't say, or I can't see it, but she probably exited around 2012, I imagine.
But yeah, and that would make sense. But I'm also wondering if it was even earlier than that, because like I said, I feel like John was the figurehead for most of the time that I've known the brand. But again, maybe there were plenty of times before that where she was the one at all the trade shows and stuff, for all I know.
Yeah, it doesn't say. I mean, I'm sure we could do.
So it's kind of in contrast. Like, if you're gonna, it's one of those things that I'm always worried when people name a brand after themselves, right? I assume her name is Annie. Yeah, is that then it leaves this sort of expectation that you're going to stay involved. And then when you disappear, like it's a little like, well, who is Annie? Why isn't Annie on any, like, where's her story gone? Like Bob's Red Mill, like you got to tip your hat to Bob for sticking with it this entire time. And even after he gave the company to the employees or sold it to them, he still shows up at trade shows and does the marching band thing and stuff like that. So he knew
I mean,
that, like, if he was going to put his name on the box, he's got to, as long as he's alive, he's a representative of the brand. But it seems like Annie, yeah, I haven't heard much of her story. So
Annie Whitney is the woman behind the brand, also invented smart food popcorn. Did you know that?
no,
Majority stake. Okay, so allowed her to focus on her real passion, pasta. So she
sold the Kraft smart food to Kraft and then sold Annie's
took
to
some
General
equity in
Mills.
2001 from Solera, and then exited in 2014. Huh. No,
Look at that, serial entrepreneur.
That is a
step
serial.
right there.
You know, I've always said that pasta is a gateway business.
You mean in this case popcorn?
Popcorn. Well, oh, sorry. Was it popcorn that she sold?
Smart food popcorn gave her
Yeah.
the money to start Annie's.
Yeah. Wow.
So you're gonna have to reformulate your saying there. Like popcorn is the gateway business.
Well, that's what I meant. I was just wondering if.
Yeah.
But so it's interesting because she sold for $15 million, and then this is the, this is the kind of brand, grassroots brand.
Totally. Sold for 15 million and then put like 500,000 in the launch.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, she earned it.
Yeah, for sure. I just find it curious, right? Because I would have never known that. So Annie, if you do watch this, we'd love to hear what you're up to now. I mean, maybe LinkedIn.
Maybe we should. I'll have to try to get her on the Evolve CPG show or something like that. But maybe while we're here, poke around in that mac and cheese category of their products, because I just want. When I was quickly looking at this before the chat, didn't realize. I knew they had a lot of different kinds, but I didn't realize the breadth. So it's just the middle category there, breadth mac and cheese. And
Frozen.
this also shows they've got frozen, they got microwave, they've got deluxe. But for now, let's just focus on what we've got in front of us. So they've got these, family size boxes. They've got organic, they've got made with organic, they've got shells, they've got, traditional macaroni, and then they've got the aged cheddar, white cheddar. Like they've just got it all. And then you can see they've also got some gluten-free varieties, and then some different animal shapes for kids. And then you were mentioning the grass-fed, which was the first time I saw that. But if you notice, there's 2 other pages here.
I know.
Still yet to come. So I was just kind of blown away thinking like, okay, now they got this pollinator series, and they've got, I'm not even sure what that protein. They've got a protein mac and cheese as well. They've got vegan mac and cheeses. So you could have done your vegan and a VW episode with that if they had that at the time. And it just goes on. And I saw quinoa. I saw all sorts of different red lentils. Like they've got
reduced sodium,
a lot of different varietals. And when I noticed that, I was just wondering, like, where are all these SKUs? Like, are they stocking them in just very specialty stores? Are some of these online only, or are these in like Walmart? And I just never go to a Walmart and didn't know that. I'd just be curious to know where these are, because usually whenever I see Annie's, it's maybe 5 varietals of mac and cheese at the store.
Yeah, it's I'm not sure. Those are really great questions. And I guess this is how they have 45 different products in their offering.
Yeah, a big chunk of them just in mac and cheese alone. Because if it's 145, and they've probably got like, I wasn't counting, let's just say 50-ish in just the kind of dry powder mac and cheese. But then they had the microwave, they had the frozen, and then they had the deluxe, which is like the liquid cheese kind of versions of mac and cheese. So They do have
Well,
quite a few things and a
yeah.
little something for everybody, I guess, whether you're need some protein or you're vegan or whatever else. I haven't tried most of those, so I can't necessarily vouch for it, but I would imagine they seem to make a good product in general. I don't know if I've tried anything of theirs that I didn't like per se.
You know what? I think it'd be really fun to get a month's supply of mac and cheese, one of each of their 28 products. Fast. Well, maybe you do it in February because there are 28 days in February, right? Gage, I challenge you to a Annie's macaroni and cheese February challenge to try a different one every day.
I'm not sure I'm going to accept that challenge. I feel like I would end up in the hospital. I don't know. That much kind of pasta seems like it would put me down pretty quickly.
Yeah, for
sure. I don't know about you, but pasta is not usually my go-to because it's more of a comfort food than an energy food in my experience.
Well, you could go for the red lentil spirals. Come on, buddy.
There you go.
There you go.
One day I'll feel good.
What? Well,
maybe during that protein day and maybe during the quinoa day as well. But
let's see what the Planet Pals has to say, right?
They're just like planet-shaped pasta. Kind of like don't they make some like bunny-shaped, I don't know, like spaghetti-o type things or something like that? I can't.
Yeah, remember. they do. Yeah, we used to get I don't know if they're honey bunnies. Yeah. Are they? No, they're not honey bunnies. Maybe they are. Friends, grab it, rabbits. Grab it, rabbit, grabbits. That's a funny name. Anyway.
Is that their version of Oreos too? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We could do like 30 episodes on Annie's alone, it looks like.
It does. Actually, I want to go back to a trade show and try some grabbits. Yeah. All right, Mr. Gage.
They'll be at Expo West.
That is possible. I just wanted to say that here's the shape-shifting video. Maybe we could lock that in there. Put that in for in the show notes. The interview with Shauna Sadowski. So
yeah, sounds good.
Well, you know, we've been doing a few of these episodes, and I wonder if it's time to maybe start formalizing a few areas. And we've loosely talked about this. But I was thinking brand as one of them. So a score of 1 to 5 on brand, and however we define that. So maybe it's brand continuity. Well, we talked about that. Mission, 1 to 5. And then, I mean, we've ranked everything out of 10 already. So I guess we'd have to.
Well, you know, we could add product in there. This is a lunchtime review, so we're not food scientists or anything, but we could throw our 2 cents in on how we feel the product is from like ingredient formulation to taste, texture, etc. Although I'd say maybe we need to stick to a 10-point scale because I think we started the other ones on a out of 10. So if we shifted to a 5-point scale, it wouldn't be as translatable to the other ones.
Okay, well, let's do it out of 10 and we'll just aggregate the 3 scores. How's that sound? And
perfect.
Well, let's see if we can finish in 4 minutes, so this doesn't run too long. All right. Well, you're the brand guy. Let's hear what you're between a score of 1 to 10 on brands. Like, what were your thoughts?
You know, I think it would be hard for people to say that Annie's doesn't have a strong brand. Like, I think anyone who knows the brand gets the vibe of it right away with the cute little bunnies, or I guess on the more adult products that they shift a little bit there. But let's just talk about for the mac and cheese right now. It's a pretty solid brand. I think beyond, I haven't done any research on this, but I would guess beyond Kraft, Annie's is probably one of the most recognizable brands for mac and cheese. So they've done a great job there. They knew their audience of moms and kids and really made it fun and playful without being too obnoxiously kid focused, where some cereals go that direction and it just seems like it's going to be garbage food. I think they kind of balance the playfulness with seriousness quite well and have built a name for themselves in the kind of natural organic food space. And then I think they continue to carry that brand throughout with all their messaging and playfulness of reports and everything else. So and even just that hoppiness on the back of that cheese package. And I know there's a bunch of other bunny puns. I think there was one on the back of this package made, where is it? There's something like for every bunny, like, or something like that for instead of everybody. So I feel like they'd really crush it on the brand standpoint. It'd be hard to knock them for anything there.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you think? Score of 1 to 10 on brand.
If it wasn't for the weird like jump into other categories that feels a little bit funny, that maybe just should have been a different name or something like that. I see that they handled it pretty well by just changing the look and feel, but that draws some confusion for me of like, wait, so what is so what is Annie's? You know, what kind of products should I expect from them? I feel like they were really known in this kid-friendly food space and then jumped into some other stuff that was a little bit confusing. So taking that into account, I'd maybe knock them down to like a 8, but knowing that they handled those categories fairly well, maybe I'll keep them at a 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think 9 resonates for me. Yeah, the only thing that is kind of out of that group, so they have the mac and cheese, the snacks, the cereals, the meals. So they have like canned spaghettios, like you called it, and 1-box pasta, the baking, special diets, frozen breakfast. Everything has that continuity. That one out of there is the dressings and condiments, which is, yeah, that should be a different brand for sure. So I'm going to go for a 9 on that. Mission, I'll jump into, and you know, I love how they've been reporting. They've hit a lot of these markers. They've been really, and it's not surprising because they have been working with a Sustainable Food Trade Association. It seems authentic. It's, you know, pushing the envelope, and then, you know, how they've once they are part of that, became part of that triple bottom line operating group in General Mills. Like I think that they've been able to push that outwards, and the parent company is, you know, doing some amazing reporting on materiality, stakeholder, like all the marks are there. There's always room for improvement. So I think I'm gonna have to give them like a 9 on that one. 8.5 or 9. I'll give them.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's impressive for, you know, someone owned by a bigger conglomerate. So yeah, that's high marks. Yeah, it looked like they had pretty thorough. I know that their own reports are great, and the fact that GM is also following that through with a great report as well is pretty impressive. So I could support high marks in that regard.
And what would your high mark be? Would it be?
Oh, right. I'm gonna judge it just based on Annie's alone, and I would give them like maybe somewhere around, maybe let's say an 8. I would judge them higher. I would say if they were a little more consistent with their values, by which I mean, if you want to be an organic brand, why not just stick with organic instead of waffling back and forth? But with that said, I feel like, and even like their partnership with Organic Valley, I've seen that logo come on and off the box so many different times. I don't know if that's supply chain or whatever else, but it seems like maybe they're always in this dance of like, can we stick to our values, or do we need to get priced down? And I feel like, you know, I get that. Let's make food affordable, but by sticking to your values and buying all organic, you are going to help make organic more affordable over time. So I don't know. I'll knock them down to just a little bit on waffling on their values.
For sure. And then hey, connoisseur of macaroni and cheese that you are, my friend. What do you think the product?
I'm not sure I could say I'm a connoisseur. I've pretty much just had Annie's in the last 10 years or something, but I'll say that, you know, it's a solid comfort food product. I would say, you know, I didn't know they had all these quinoa and other kind of ingredients. So I'll have to try those at some time if I can find them. But, you know, taste, texture, they're usually pretty solid on that regard. I would say just from like is definitely not like a health food by any means. So I feel like I like that they're tackling a junk food category and trying to make it with better ingredients at least.
Mm-hmm.
But I also always question, like, do we need junk food in the world kind of thing? So it's like I'm a little bit wavering on some of these junk food brands that are just making better versions of it. So I don't know. But again, it seems like they're doing some really cool things. So I guess I'll give them like a 8 in that category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, actually, it's curious, right? Calling it junk food. Like if you are what you eat, then why are you putting junk in your body? You know, that's it's kind of that intention side of it. So yeah, the name junk food is really kind of been an interesting one for me. And I don't know that I would call it junk food. I would just say, I would say that it's comfort food. A lot of these things are comfort food, and hopefully, parents aren't feeding their kids this stuff 24/7, that they're getting some more vegetables in there. So yeah, actually that would have been an interesting one. And I don't know if it's on their website, like recipes, just having, oh yeah, they have recipes. Of course they would have recipes. So just how to maybe like, amp up some of the space. Oh yeah, there we go.
Well, I can recommend the Mama's Little Peppers and the organic frozen peas. Mix those in at the end. It makes for a nice, sophisticated meal. Kids might not like it with the peppers in there, but
Come on,
but
Gage.
adults,
I think
it's a good adult version.
I think that you went to their website. I don't know that that's an original one. Look at that. Gage's mac and cheese with peppers and peas. So anyway, okay. You did top with crushed cheddar bunnies. Yeah, that might be a little much. Anyway, for me, I think I would do an 8 per product. It had a good mouthfeel. It's not something I buy all the time. So
I think it's a good standby cupboard thing that you keep there in case you're out of other food. But I don't know if it's something you'd want to like eat every day.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, so we're at 51 divided by 6. We have an aggregate score of 8.5 for them.
Boom. There you go. 8.5. And we'll go back and rescore some of the others to get it all consistent too, maybe.
All right, Gage. My lunch break is over here.
Pleasure sharing lunch. We'll catch up again next week. Cheers.
Sounds good. See you, bye.